Hello, I'm Stephen Andrew, State Member for Moranni, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Here you can keep up to date with what I'm saying in Parliament and what's happening around in my electorate. But before we jump into the video, don't forget to subscribe and to check out my other socials linked in the description below. And thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Mr. Speaker.
I call the member for Moranni.
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
Sorry. I rise to contribute to the cognate debate on Energy, Renewable, Transformation and Jobs Bill 2023 and the Clean Energy...
Order, members. Order.
Sorry, Speaker, it's good to have the crossbench to say...
Member for Moranni, please wait. Pause the clock. Members leaving the chamber, please do so quietly or I'll start warning members. Member for Moranni, you have the call.
Thank you, Speaker. Both bills share similar goals, including to drive increased government and private investment in the state's renewable energy transition, legislate targets to provide industry and investors with the certainty that they need, and provide support for the thousands upon thousands of workers who will be adversely impacted by this transition will cause. And both bills legislate targets with the Energy and the Jobs Bill enacting the government's renewable targets and the Clean Economy Jobs Bill legislating its emission targets. And by enacting all these targets for renewables and emissions, the government claims it will provide industry and investors with the certainty they need for their forward plans. Except that, under clauses in the bill, all these targets are subject to review, thereby creating a mechanism by which the government can ratchet the targets up or down to suit its own needs or agenda. Hardly a good way of providing industry with certainty, I'm sure. My main objection to legislating targets, however, is that none are achievable and the costs of attempting it will sabotage our whole economy. And according to CSIRO modelling, renewable energy in Queensland must increase 98% over the next 26 years to reach the government's target of net zero. What a pipe dream. At the bare minimum, this will mean electrifying absolutely everything in the state. Currently, only a quarter of our energy needs are met by electricity, most of which comes from fossil fuels. According to CSIRO, and there was just to the members' motion today, just now from the Greens, about getting away from coal. I don't think any of us want to have a coal shower in the dark, Mr. Speaker. Not at any time. We're not used to that. We're not going to do that. According to the CSIRO, the needs to increase estimated 70% by 2050. This will require an absolutely massive expansion. Doing so will cost the state up to $14 billion each year between now and 2050, according to CSIRO. Where are we going to afford this? How do we afford it? We only spoke to the Treasurer spoke to the debt this morning. So I hope this has all been factored in. That's commensurate with the Queensland coal royalties being produced last year, every year for the next 26 years. We will see money ripped out of other vital areas of our economy. Health, education, what's going on there? Basket case. We will see money ripped out of other spent carpeting the bush in industrial-grade wind and solar. Now, I asked the Minister this morning concerning the situation with koalas. We have a very unique ecosystem here with our animals here, and it's all low-frequency stuff that's all there that they're bringing in here to this state. Where's the environmental impact studies? I want to see the studies. I do not want an extinction event. I do not want to sterilise these areas that are on the top of the mountains in remnant vegetation, taking our actual wildlife and destroying it because they can't even communicate, because we've got resonant sounds through frequencies, EMFs, that will take away the situation where these things can actually communicate, mate and work together. Have we done it before? Absolutely not. Is there any koalas over in any of the other countries that have put this in? Absolutely not. Our animals, our ecosystems are very unique to this country, and it should be a situation where the studies are absolutely done in entirety to make sure that we do not impact on these very precious parts, very precious animals of Australia. You might think it's a joke. They can't talk back, and they don't have a way of having a say here in this House. And I'll have a say for them because I know what happens. I'm out in the bush all the time, and these things need to have their own and their own way of being able to communicate, and this is not a way of doing it. They have a hum. It's just so funny that all the stuff that comes in here is all about the situation to do with renewables and pushing the renewables, but what about the impact of the environment? Anyway, meeting these targets will end up driving the state into low productivity, low wage, low quality of life, command and control the economy, as there's a reason for that. Show me where the power price has gone down and anywhere this stuff's been put in. I'd love to know. It hasn't happened, it's never going to happen, and here we are adopting it. It's nonsense. Each bill also invests enormous centralised power in the relevant minister. All this will mean is reduced transparency and accountability, an enormous centralisation of power in the executive. Turning to the issue of jobs, Mr Deputy Speaker, the Clean Economy Jobs Bill includes the words jobs, but apart from that, the word doesn't appear anywhere else in the bill. Nowhere. Employment appears just once in section 6, subsection 4, subsection D. That's because the Clean Energy Economy Jobs Bill isn't really about jobs or employment at all. That's what it is. And everyone knows that a command and control economy will never be able to create real jobs, not fulfilling productive, permanent and well-paid jobs at least. We're overseas, everything's going overseas, all our manufacturing. What are we manufacturing here about renewable energy? Nothing. 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 Everyone knows, and that's the trade-off. So the so-called energy transition, which is probably, we've got how much owned by the state? That's the one thing.
Order, members.
I'm not taking any interjections, Mr Speaker. The one thing about the Greens stuff is it should be publicly owned. How much of it is? Why is there no transparency on any of the stuff that they have or their contracts with the landholders? Who owns the liability? Who owns the liability in the end? So we've got all these Aboriginal corporations and our tribal people and corporations given security of tenure. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about this. The witty people in my area, their totem is the wedge-tailed eagle. How many wedge-tailed eagles are we going to kill in my area? How many people are going to see all the dead animals and the dead birds that are going to be a result of this? Clean energy of what? At the end of the day, we're going to wipe out all our species in those beautiful, pristine, remnant vegetation areas that are built on the top of the hills. It's ridiculous. We've got to give it more thought than this. Australians and Queenslanders want more. They don't want all of their mountaintops littered with this rubbish. Who's doing the clean-up? Where's all the clean-up money coming from? Where's the actual transition from coal and the smooth transition to be able to store it? So what do? We go up there to my area, put it all in the back block so no one knows about it. At least the Premier had the decency to actually put a moratorium on signing contracts for the Pioneer Burdekin Dam and leaving it till the next election. Everyone in this state needs to know what's actually going on there, the damage that that's going to do. Not only that, we went there and the way that the people are being dealt with in that situation, singled out, having mental health problems because they're changing the different contracts every day to make sure that, if you don't sign the contract at the bottom line here, this is what they told us there at the meeting. The Premier was sitting there listening to what went on. It's a disgrace. No one should have to go through it. If it's such a roll gold project, why can't we just do it properly? Why can't we show the transparency to everyone in Queensland what's actually going on? The contracts, the situation of what it actually is. It's a damn disgrace. And I tell you what, I won't put up with it. My people in the Moranti won't put up with it. They're fighting back because it's wrong. And I'm against it. Righto, I love my environment. We love the things that we have there. And there was a situation where I had to go and get a map out of one of the officers from the hydro project, and they tried to grab it out of my hand because I had a plan B there that no one even knows about. The plan B was another hydro right beside the other. I'll take the interjection from the member from Menango. There was another hydro built there, and they just decided to take it off me. You know what they wanted to do? They're going to put all this stuff in there, all this infrastructure, and then they're going to piggyback onto it. That's fair enough, but not in my electorate and not up there at Youngler. It is a beautiful place. It has got nature that nowhere else has. And the people that are up there understand this. We understand it. All of the people from the Yuwi tribe up there don't want it either. Do the studies, show everyone the studies, find out where this actually comes from, what the low-frequency noise is going to do to the animals before we do any of it. Because extinction rate events doesn't constitute cheaper energy prices, and it doesn't do anything for renewables.
The member's time has expired. I call the member for Alcester.
Thank you, Speaker. Well, Speaker, before I contribute to the bill, I do want to say I feel like we've just stepped into another dimension where the member for Morani, the only member in this House from One Nation, the One Nation Party that, of course, does not support climate change, the One Nation Party that does not support vegetation management laws in this state, that somehow that the member for Morani is sitting around the fireplace with some koalas and some other animals, having a good old chat with his tinfoil hat on, having a good old chat about, you know, how we're going to manage renewables in this state. But of course, we know that this side of the House is absolutely committed to renewables, and we will continue down that path the same way that we are committed to addressing the impacts of climate change in this state. And we do that through science. And I know that the member from Morani may struggle with that idea also, that science is actually at the heart of how we do these things.
Hello everyone, I'm Stephen Andrew, the State Member for Morani. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on notifications to stay up to date with my latest videos. And also make sure to check out my other socials and my website links. They will be available in the description below. Thank you for joining us.